What's going on, guys? Dan Smith here. I don't have enough cameras to get my face in. A few weeks back I did a little Instagram post with a sort of 2-1-2-1 sort of arpeggio warm-up exercise sequence, whatever you want to call it. So I thought I'd teach it on here. So it's based on different chord types on the same root note. So if we do it in the key of G, we're going to go G major 7, and then G minor 7, then G minor 7 flat 5, and then G7 or G9, and then it's up to you. You can either try and just do those four shapes, those four arpeggios, and then move it up. It's quite a nice, gives it quite a nice sort of ambiguous sort of video game kind of feel. Or you can maybe make it a bit more musical and try and connect it and move it up that way. So the first shape goes like this. So if I do the notes without the sequence, we've got this. So we've got the root notes, 3rd fret on the E string. We've got the 3rd, 7th fret on the E string, and that's a hammer. So pick hammer. Then you've got the 5th fret of the on the A, which is the 5th of the chord as well. It's your first bit, a little triad. So I'm going pick, hammer, and then middle finger for the A string. And if you're new to hybrid picking, just that on its own is quite a nice little thing to practice. You could sequence that. So the next bit, we're going to go up to the 4th fret of the D string, which is the major 7. And then we're going to go to 7th fret of the D, which is our 9. So. I tell a lie. I'm actually doing is going pick, hammer, and then pick again on the A string, then middle finger, hammer. So up to now we've just gone straight up. We've gone 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Then what we're going to do is drop back down to our 5th, then hammer on the 4th to the 7th on the D string. Drop back down. And then the picking for that is pick, hammer, pick again on the A, and then middle finger, hammer. So now, using that middle finger, your pick is already in position to go back to the A string. And then we're going to pluck and hammer again. Now, all we need to do is add 4th fret of the G. So our 3rd. And I'm doing that with my middle finger as well. So that's the ascending pattern. Descending. So after we've done there, we're going to go. So you're going to go 7th to 4th on the D string, back down to the 5th fret of the A, and then jump back up. So we're going 4th fret of the G, we're going 7 to 4 on the D, pull off, and then to 5th fret of the A, then jump back up to the 7th fret of the D, and drop back down. So the picking for that, I'm going, so that's middle finger, pick, pull off, pick, and then pick again. So I'm doing 2 up picks at the end. And then it leads you back to the first note. Do the whole thing. And that'd all be G major 9. One thing to practice as well when you're doing this is not to get these real kind of bow and arrow strikes. That's good if you're doing maybe some sort of country thing where you need that attack, but you want to try and make this almost a bit keyboard-like. That kind of thing. Something like that. So all I'm doing then is, so this is 2, 1, 2, 1. And then just applying that to other chord types. So that was G major 9. So now if we do it on G minor 9, G minor 7. So we're going to just change the third to make it a minor third. And then the fifth stays the same. And then we've got a flat 7 instead of our major 7 now. And then the ninth stays the same. So up to there. And the picking stays the same. So once you've got that bit down, you're just changing the notes. And then a bit of a stretch. So now we've got the ninth. Now our third before was here on the 4th fret, but now it's a minor third, so it's going down to the 3rd fret of the G. So yeah. And again, same picking. The same sequence. Now, you could go and do a pull off on that last one, but as it's the start, I kind of like that there's a pick on the first one just to set it off. If I do the first two together, you can kind of start to hear the effect. Starting with a major 7 or major 9. That's one into the other. It sounds quite cool because it's on the same root note. So it's so that's the first two. The next one I did was minor 7, flat 5. Now, strictly speaking, if we're following the same formula as before, we'd be putting the 9th in, but you get this, which it's okay, but just to make it sound a bit better when you're practicing, just go into the root note instead. So in this one, we're going root, minor 3rd, flat 5 this time, flat 7, and then onto the root note. And then the pattern will drop back down to the flat 5, flat 7, root, and then up to the flat 3 on the top. Again, same picking pattern. So it's 2, 1, 2, 1. Try and put the first 3 together. There we go. For the 4th one, I did a dominant 9. So I did root, major 3rd, 5th, flat 7, and then the 9. And then back up to the 3rd. So there's only the only difference between the first one and the last one is that major 7. It's going down to the minor 7. I'm doing the whole pattern twice just to make it feel like more of a thing. Try and do the whole thing. one of the notes might have been right at the end, but that's the idea. So you can do that if you really want to drive yourself crazy. You can do all those 4 shapes based on the 1 root note and then just move it up. Or you can move it up at any time really, even if you just did the 1. So if we just did the major 9. And so on. I was playing around initially with doing, the 4th one, after you've done the dominant chord, is the second time making it a little diminished chord, just to push you into the next chord. You could do that if you really wanted to. I'll show you the, so from here, instead of going back to our G, you go to G sharp, like that, so you get, so I'll do it again, so you get this. And then you've kind of reached the new key. For what it is, the exercise, you probably don't really need to do that, but it's there if you want it. I recommend playing around and moving them onto different string sets. It does work okay on the next 4 strings. So if you're doing it on a C, and then a little bit of moving around when the B string starts getting involved, but it's still cool. All right, quick arpeggio sequence exercise thing. Hope you enjoy it. See you in a bit. Peace.